Hey, this is Jeff here from eBay Addicts. Today, my special guest is Jimmy from Old School Flips. How you doing today, Jimmy?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great.
Good, good. So go ahead and introduce yourself in case people in the chat don't know who you are.
All right. So my name is Jimmy. I'm a full-time reseller on eBay. I've been full-time for it'll be 2 years in February before that I've been full-time. I was part-time for about half a year before that. I mainly
Yeah.
sell toys, video games, stuff like that, and I'm mainly on eBay. I don't do a lot of other platforms right now. Had a lot of success with eBay, so I'm just kind of running with it.
All right, cool. Well, that sounds good. So if you guys don't know, Jimmy recently hit 1,000
Yeah.
subscribers, man. Tell me, how does it feel, man? How does it feel? Because you've been gunning for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. It was great. I got a lot of people that just jumped in and started supporting me, and they started sharing my channel and sharing it on all kinds of social media platforms on YouTube itself. And it was just
Yeah.
awesome to get that support and that love, and everybody just pushed me. And it was crazy because it happened 3 hours before the New Year's here in Colorado. So I was like, "Come on, we got to do it. We got to do it. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close." And then I hit that 1K right 3 hours before. And then now I got a nice cushion. I'm like 30 over, so I'm as happy as could be.
Yeah, yeah. I was one of the people that shared your video.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler did. Art Vandelay, a bunch of people did. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you made it, man. I was surprised. I was like, man, it was like when I checked it, I was like, he's like 15 away. I was
Yep.
like, I don't know if he's going to get it or not. He's really close. So I'm happy for you, man.
No, I
So
appreciate it. Like I couldn't thank everybody enough. Like there's so many people to thank, and I just can't think of them all. But yeah, thank you, thank everybody that helped me get over it.
did you see that video that Chris put up
Yeah, that
with
was,
you?
it was hilarious. Yeah,
That was hilarious.
Jimmy's
Yeah.
sad.
Jimmy was sad. That was
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah.
So, hey, I wanted to say hi to Joseph in the chat. We got the bearded veteran here, and we got January Houses here hanging out with us. He says, "Hey, Jimmy," and "Hey, Jeff." He says, "Congratulations." I know we got Jimmy hit 1K, so we're both. I'm excited for you, Jimmy, because I know what that's like. Putting in hours and hours and hours. Because it took me 9 months to go from 0 to 1,000 subscribers. So I definitely can relate when you're pushing and you're putting the work in, and you're just like, man, I don't know if I'm seeing any results. I don't know if I'm getting any closer to the finish line or further away. So
Like,
I
is there a
definitely
light
can.
at the end of this tunnel or what? Come on.
Right, I definitely can relate. It's like you get one step forward, two steps back. So I'm glad we got to finally get to meet up with you, because I didn't get to meet up with you at all in 2020. We both just had different schedules. So go ahead, Jimmy, and tell me how did your giveaway? Because you had a giveaway last night on your channel. Tell me how that went, man.
It went really good. It was really fun. We had a lot of people in the chat, so it was a little crazy. I wasn't expecting that. I kind of told you behind the scenes, like, yeah, I was like 50 people. I didn't expect that. I mean, I'm so grateful for it. But we had a lot of fun. I had some help from my wife and my good friend Dan. So we got it done. We had 4 big winners, and I'm gonna be mailing that stuff out today. So it was fun. I thought it went really well, and it was a lot of fun.
Okay, yeah. I stopped by to hang out for a few, and I think I saw Dan the Answer Man. You said your wife was there, and you guys had a big giveaway, so that's awesome. We got the Cap Guy is here in the house hanging out with us.
Hello.
What's up, Cap Guy? So we're just here hanging out with Jimmy. So Jimmy's a full-time reseller, and he's a YouTuber. He hit 1K subscribers. So talk to us about your reselling adventures. This is the first time I got to meet up with you. Tell me all about how you first became a reseller. What was your journey from because you weren't like starting off being a full-time reseller. You said that you've been a full-time reseller now for 2 years, correct?
Yeah. So it's kind of a long story, but I'll keep it as short as possible. So I was a mechanic for a lot of years, and medical issues in 3 years ago took me out of that. Doctors basically said you can't be a mechanic anymore, your body's just done like that. So I had to retire from being a mechanic, and so I was like, what do I do now? Like, I've been a mechanic. So I went into customer service, answering the phone, answering mechanic questions, and I hated it. But the company I worked for sold lawn equipment, like riding lawnmowers and stuff, and they sold it on eBay. And the guy that did their eBay sales walked out on them. And I went to my boss and I said, here it is. I'm tired of answering the phone. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm ready to quit. You want to give me eBay? I'll try it, see what I can do with it. And he said, let's see what happens. Might as well. Like, we need somebody to do it. So I stepped in, started doing eBay for this company, learned eBay through this company, and I crushed it. Like, I destroyed what their guy was doing in sales. I quadrupled his sales numbers my first year. I just came naturally to me. And then the company sent me to the eBay Open to learn more about eBay. And what I actually met when I went to the eBay Open is I met resellers and I learned about reselling. I didn't really know what reselling was. And so it kind of sucked for them because I learned about reselling while I was there, came back, opened up my store, and the rest is history. Like I had a head start because I knew eBay really well because I did it for a year for a company. And I knew all the ins and outs really, really well. I knew how to sell on there. So when I started my store, it was like, boom, hit the ground running. And within half a year, I was full time. So that's the story.
So, Jimmy, you got on-the-job training. So you got to work for a company, get paid on their dime to learn eBay inside and out. They even flew you out to eBay Open, and not unknowingly to you, you got to meet up with a bunch of resellers. And one thing led to another, and now you're a full-time reseller. So I want to give a shout-out to some people in the chat. We got the Cap guy here. Angie Resells is here. We got the January House is here hanging out with us. Carolina Hustler is here. And I think we got Chewbacca Gil. Is that how? I don't know if I pronounced your name. If I pronounced your name incorrectly, I apologize. I'm just going with Chewbacca. That sounds close to me. We got Carolina Hustler. He says, Jimmy, you as a mechanic, me too. I hated it. We got Leroy here from Blood, Sweat, and Cell, and the January House. Carolina Hustler says I want to go to an eBay Open. Well, I think they canceled it. The eBay Open last year, they had something called eBay Upfront, and I went there and I got to go meet up with Rally Roots was there, Rockstar Flipper. Yeah, because I live in Tampa and they just happened to live nearby me, so I got to go meet up with them during the eBay Upfront. But yeah, if they have an eBay Open, I think at that time was like 2019 or something.
Yeah, I went to 2018.
2018.
I went to
Yeah, I think the meetup was in Vegas. I didn't get a chance to make it to that one.
I actually met Casey there, the Rockstar Flipper. I met a couple other. I met the bearded picker and stuff like that. So I met some pretty cool people there. Yeah, I saw them on YouTube. I saw Rockstar Flipper and Bearded Picker and all them. I had them here on my channel actually last year. So I actually had I've been tracking these people down. So we got Gravity Goods here in the house. He says, watching as I photographed so I could get more listed today. I have some catching up to do. Slacked off yesterday. Congratulations on 1K subscribers. I'm climbing towards 300. We can all rise up together. So man, if you guys I just put out a video yesterday and I was talking about, different strategies and techniques where you can go from 0 to 1,000 subscribers. So if you didn't get a chance to check the video out, I just put it out yesterday. It was like a quick 8-minute video, and I give you guys top 5 tips to help you grow your YouTube channel. We got the reseller Nitz here in the house. He says, hey, Jeff, Angie Resells is here, and Emily Conway. So I'm glad to see Emily Conway. So thank you guys for coming by and hanging out. If you have questions for Old School Flips, Jimmy is here in the house. Ask him questions. Pick his brain. See if you can. This is it. See if you can stump Jimmy. That's it. If you can ask Jimmy an eBay question and he doesn't know it, that would be great. So see if you can do that. All right. I don't think it'll be too hard.
Yes. Stump Jimmy. That's going to be it. So if you guys can stump Jimmy in the chat, that's what we're going to try to do. Right. So Jimmy, tell us, man, how has your journey been on YouTube? So what got you started in creating a YouTube channel, and how long have you been on YouTube, and how has your journey been being on YouTube?
So it all started when I got back from the eBay Open. I heard about resellers there. So I went home and I YouTube, searched it. I started watching, the big names. I watched a lot of Lonnie, Shed Flip, Cincinnati Picker, Rally Roots. I always call Rally Roots my they're my secret, what's that term? Secret pleasure. Like I watch liking them, but is anybody watching me watch them? Because at first I was like, are these guys legit? But now that I've watched enough of their videos, they're real legit. They're very smart business people. So I started watching all these videos and I was like, I want to try after I get my business started, I want to try that YouTube also. And so I started putting out a couple videos and they were awful, terrible videos. And then when the pandemic hit, I was like, I'm going to try a live show, see what happens. So I was actually doing a live show every day for probably a month and a half. That became way too much. I was like, wow, I took on way more than I could handle doing that. But so then after that, I slowed down a little bit, took some time off, reevaluated how I really want to approach this. And I was like, I really just want to do pre-recorded stuff. So that's when I really hit it hard. I taught I'm still teaching myself how to edit, because I found out that I really love video editing and it's a lot of fun to me. Am I great at it? No, I'm not. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Gravity Goods. Like guilty pleasure, like when we were talking about Rally Roots, like just loved watching their videos. You know, did I learn a ton from them? No, not because I was still new, but yeah. So I saw that in the chat. But yeah, so I love video editing. I think it's really fun. I'm not the best at it, but I'm pretty good at it. I'm getting better as I go. So I was like, man, now I really know what I want to do. I want to do pre-recorded with some fun edits to make it fun and make learning and making learning and fun and at the same time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've met Rally Roots twice in the past year in person, so they were always nice to me every time I met them in person, and they seem to be, real legit people. You know, you can hang out with them and ask them questions. I didn't like get my photo made with them or anything, but I mean, we shot some videos together, and they were always nice to hang out with me every time I met up with them. So we got Art Vandelay here in the house.
What's up,
we were
man?
We were just talking about you, Art Vandelay. Thanks for coming by. Blood, Sweat, and Cell is here. Emily Conway's in the house. I think I missed a few questions here in the chat. First question was, how about selling car parts? He wants to know, do you sell car parts or no?
I do not sell car parts. So at the eBay Open, that was there's so many people that represented that field. I listened, and I'm not gonna lie, it scared me. Like, I know that kind of stuff. I was a mechanic. I know tools too, but I stay away from it because it honestly scares me a little bit. Like, eBay wasn't, with car parts, there's a lot of them, they have that breakdown where you have to, decides, what model, make and model car it is, and then what part of the automobile system it goes to. And so I don't know a lot about that schematic that eBay has that a lot of car part sellers deal with. And it was a little overwhelming because I went to the class on it and saw it, and I was like, whoa, that's a little, like looking at diagrams and schematics and selling parts. So I haven't really looked that much into it after I saw that. I was like, I just kind of ran away with toys. Like, toys just kind of, man, like it kind of just took over my life selling toys. So I was like, I don't need to sell. I sold some tools. I sold my old mechanic tools. That's the only tools I ever sold. And toys and video games just kind of snowballed.
Right. We got a question from Leroy. He says, have you ever sold tools, and do you know much about them? So that was one of the questions that Leroy just happened to ask you.
And that's Leroy's specialty, man. He's very knowledgeable. I do know about him. I sold my mechanic tools that I had. I had some Snap-on stuff, cordless impacts and stuff like that. And it's actually what really got the ball rolling for me on my own store as I went into my toolbox that I literally couldn't use anymore. Physically, I just cannot turn a wrench or lift a lot. So I was like, you know what? I really have no use for these tools. I really, really don't. So let's use them to start building my eBay store. So I did sell stuff like that, Snap-on ratchets, ratcheting wrenches, stuff like that. Like, Leroy knows what I'm talking about. Sockets, but after that, I was done. Like,
So, Jimmy, how many items do you currently have listed on your eBay store? And you told me earlier before the show started, you just said you were doing maybe like 25, 30 sales a day. Is that correct?
No, I average about 12 or so, but over the weekend, I usually get close to 30. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I usually hit 30 or more. But I'm cool. About 10 to 12 a day. I currently have 1,000. I just got done listing before we got on here. So I have 1,067, I believe, but I think I just had a sale, so 1,066.
Okay, awesome. He's making sales and having fun. So we got a question from Gravity Goods. He says, what is your least favorite part of eBay?
It's just customer service. Am I good at it? Yes. Did I learn a lot while I was a customer service rep and doing it for a company? Yes. Still don't like it. I don't like it's just part of it, right? Like, I don't like having to be nice when I don't fully agree with some reasoning that customers are saying. And my number one rule is I'm still nice. I kill them with kindness. I apologize. I don't personally apologize, but I apologize at the situation that it's come to this. I tell them I understand where they're coming from. Meanwhile, in my head, I'm like, I don't agree with you at all. But I have to keep it. I have to keep it nice. And I don't want this to snowball into some ugly. So that's the part I just don't like at all.
Yeah.
Well, as you grow and as you get to 1,000 listings, it's a huge part of it. I don't go a day without 3 or 4 messages. It's every single
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, it can be annoying. I had a customer message me, and they're asking me questions about what the post office is doing, and I'm like, dude, I don't work at the post office. I don't I'm not like a bond holder. I don't work there. I don't have stock in the post office. I can give you their name and number and your tracking number, and you can call them. That's how I feel about it, because it's like I've got over 5,000 items listed, and they're like questioning me, interrogating me to be like, what have you done with my item? Like I stole it or something. And I'm like, dude, I shipped. Yeah, I'm like, dude, I shipped it to your address. It should be there shortly. But my least favorite thing about eBay right now that I least like is pulling orders for shipping, because all my merchandise is out in the shed and I'm in Florida, and it can be 80, 90, 100 degrees sometimes. And I want to buy a window unit to put in the shed, but I don't want to do that because also I'm worried about someone may be able to knock the window unit out of the shed and break in to where my merchandise is. So that's my least favorite thing, is going out in the shed and pulling merchandise, because I don't mind pulling orders. I just don't like being out in the heat. It's just no fun. So we got a question from Chewbacca. He says, hey, I bought an SUV in an auction. It runs great. It has under 79,000 miles on it. It came with title parts only vehicle. How can I sell this item on eBay, or did I stump you? He wants to know, can he sell an item without a title?
You stumped me, because I don't know. I would go try to get a title. Would be my good. Yeah.
Listen.
Go ahead.
Listen, man, what I was going to say is, what you can do is sell parts off of the vehicle. So maybe if you don't have the title, you can't sell the vehicle by itself. You can sell parts off the vehicle. Right. There's little things. Yeah, they're like, just think about almost like how a junkyard sells parts off of a car. You can have like junkyard the car, so you can either take the car to the junkyard and get $200-$300, or you can take like the rear view mirror, parts for the trunk, just like little assembly parts, stuff that goes in the dashboard. You could part the vehicle out and sell little parts individually, or you can just try to sell it to the junkyard and get rid of it. But Jimmy says that you've stumped him. Emily Conway is in the house. She says, Jimmy, do you have any tips that will increase my sales on eBay? Give me the behind the scenes info. No, tell us. We got Jimmy on the live stream.
Give away those secrets.
Tell us. Give us the info, Jimmy. How do we make more sales on eBay? Tell us how to do this.
To me, it's all like, you have to be willing to pay for advertising, promoting your listings. It's definitely a sensitive topic. I promote my listings. This is part of what I learned when I was doing it for a company. And I'll tell you, I did $1.4 million in sales my first year for that company, gross sales. So I have an idea. I learned a lot. Promoting is huge. There's a lot of people that don't do it, and I'm not going to argue with them, but promoting your listings is basically paying for advertising your listings. Without promoted listings, I would be struggling to be full-time. And then I run sales, so I price stuff a little bit higher than what it's going for when I first list it. I let it ride that price out for a month. After it's been at that, if it lasts a full month at that higher price, then I don't end it and relist it at a lower price. I put it on a 10% or 15% off sale, because sales drive people to your store as well. So those are the two main things as far as like sales points. And then list every day. Like, you have to list every day. I list Monday through Friday every single day, unless I take, like at the holidays, I took some time off. But when we, like today, I was like, holidays are over, we're done. I'm down here listing. I listed 20 things today, and tomorrow I'm gonna list another 20 items. So I mean, those three things are the big keys. I mean,
yeah, I do all my items 1% promoted listings. I don't want to give eBay too much of my money, because I'm the one making the sales, but they're the middleman. It's kind of like every time, you ever been to a casino before, and every time you win a hand, the house rakes the pot and they get their cut? Well, eBay is like the house at the casino. They rake their pot no matter who wins. So yeah, guys, you can try promoted listings. Like I said, I do all mine at 1%, but it's also important to list a lot. I have a video that I made last year talking about like 5 tips to help increase eBay sales. I may do like a 5 tips or something for 2021. I may make like a revision video for that. Anyways, we got Art Vandelay in the house. He asked a question. He says, Jimmy, how is it that you've learned so much about toys? He wants to know, where did you get all this knowledge to find out about toys and video games?
Right. So, it's funny, because I didn't sell toys to start. I sold the typical electronics, Walkmans. DVD, VCR combos, and I still sell that stuff. But I was actually watching. So there was this channel. They're not very active anymore. A YouTube channel. I believe it's called Down and Dirty, and it was a guy that wore like spy glasses, right? And he would go to. So I watched a lot of them early on, and I was noticing like they were buying up all the toys at these yard sales. Like they would go to yard sales and fill their car with toys, and I was like, do toys really do that good on eBay? And so I started just experimenting, buying some toys and trying, and they just fly off the shelf, right? And I already know a lot about toys because I played a lot of toys, and I have 2 teenage boys that play with toys all growing up, and I paid attention to what they were playing with, and I paid attention to make sure they got the toys that they wanted, for their birthdays or Christmas or whatever. So I didn't even realize I already had that knowledge. It's like, oh, Ben 10, oh, Power Rangers, stuff, all this stuff that they're watching and video games that they play, and it just like clicked, like it just hit me like, man, I already know these toys, and I've never, I didn't even think about selling them. So it just really kind of clicked because like I said, I paid attention a lot to what my kids were doing. And another big secret to learning toys is going to the thrift stores and looking at the grab bags and looking for a bag full of good toys that look like if you recognize a Power Ranger in there, or a bag that has all Power Rangers in there. Buy that bag for $3, bring it home, hit them with the Google Lens, see what their names are, look them up on eBay. I guarantee you, if you walk into a thrift store and you find a bag full of quality action figures or toys, and you bring it home for $3 and you open that bag up and start doing the research on those figures, you're going to make money. It's almost impossible not to make money. Now, I'm not saying go to the thrift store and buy every single grab bag, because I look through a lot of grab bags, but if you see a grab bag, they're clear, you can look through them, and it's got like 4 or 5, cool-looking action figures. Buy that bag as a learning experience for $3. Bring them home, scan them with your phone, Google Lens app. It's great. It'll tell you who it is. Then look it up on eBay. And the thing is, you're not going to lose money. You're going to at least make that $3 back, I'll tell you right now. But there's a good chance you're going to find a figure that's worth $15, and another one that's worth $8, and then one that's worth $5. Next thing you're making almost $30 off of your 3, and you didn't even do a lot of work, and you didn't spend a lot of money. So.
Yeah. Also, besides Google Lens, you can also take a picture of the items and look them up on eBay that way as well. Yep. So I'm behind on the chat, so I'm going to try to get caught up on the chat. We got Angie Reese. We got Angie Resells is here. Flippy McFlipperson is here hanging out with us. Art Vandelay. We got Leroy is here. We got Bearded Veteran is here. We got Landshark Picker hanging out with us today. We got Gravity Good says, yeah, that's my least favorite part, killing him with kindness. We got Flippy McFlipperson. He says, at least the customer isn't standing in front of you. Where I came from, it was horrible. Yeah, I couldn't be there and just be like smiling and have a nice day. And the guy's like cussing you out because their order was wrong or something.
Yeah. That would be awful.
Yeah, I could just see Jimmy trying to just sit there and be like, like, yeah. that wouldn't go over too well. We got Sal here hanging out with us. We got Bearded Veteran here in the house. We got a question from Flippy McFlipperson. He says, what was your best sell of 2020? So I guess what was your highest profitable item that you sold on 2020? Can you tell us what happened?
So here we go, car parts, right? Something I don't sell, right? My best sale of 2020 was I found this. It was a monochrome monitor with a camera, and I really didn't know what it was. I was actually at the yard sale looking it up the whole time, and I couldn't find anything on it. Like I couldn't find comps anywhere on it, and anywhere, even through a Worth Point, all that stuff. So I was like, and it was brand new in the box, sealed, like all the pieces, like never been used at all. So I was like, I asked the lady how much for the monitor and the camera, and she said like $30, and I was like, I'll give you 20 right now. She's like, yeah, it was a little old lady. She's like, yeah, my husband never used it, so sure. And I gave her $20 for it, got it home, still never found any comps on it. So what it was, though, it was an old black and white camera and it was called a monochrome monitor. It was a backup monitor for an old RV. And so you would put the monitor on the dash, and then it had a huge cable that you would run to the back, and then you would install the camera on the back of your old RV from like the 70s or 80s. And this monitor was brand new in the box. So some guy was restoring a RV and needed this, and I was the only person that had it. So I listed it at $700 plus shipping on eBay, and it sold within like 2 weeks of listing it. So that was my biggest flip of the year.
Yeah.
$700 plus shipping for that monitor and camera with the cable. Paid $20 for it.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I think my biggest item that I sold was a video game. I paid 50 cents for it, and it sold for $200. So
Wow.
you know, yeah, but it wasn't 700. It was a $200 item. So
Right.
we got Angie Resells here in the chat. Hey, I saw your video yesterday, Angie Resells, and I hope you get feeling better. It says, do you recommend a certain rate for promoted listings? Do you do 1% or do you do trending rate?
I do recommend. So I'll say I do 4% across the board, and it was based on a lot of research, and I did a lot of tests. I tried 1%. I tried no promoting at all, and no promoting at all. I'm just telling you, I turned off my promoting for like a month and a half, and my sales dived. Like my sales, it was scary. They dived so much. So, I've messed with numbers. I ended up at 4% basically across the board, except for rare items. Like you said, a video game that I know there's only 3 or 4 available out there, and it's rare. I won't promote that. But everything else is just 4% across the board. And, and I'm just real quick, I'm going to jump over my eBay. Like, I'm not a huge analytics guy at all, but, I do look at my analytics some, and like to see that, I'm going to look at a number real quick right here. To see that in the last 30 days, my promoted fees are $260 and my sales are $5,200. I will pay $260 for $5,200 in sales every month forever if I have to. I don't care. Like, to me, it's a no-brainer. Those analytics do not lie. It's right there. The numbers are right there in front of you. There's no way I'm turning off my promoted listings. So that's kind of just, how I, so 4% across the board works great for me.
Yeah, I think it also kind of depends on what items you're selling, and if the item you're selling is in a niche or it's in a market where you have a lot of competition, you might have to do more. If you're in a niche or a market where you don't, like, I don't have a lot of money tied up in my items. I buy items for 50 cents or $1 or something, but I just don't want to give eBay too much of my money in promoted listings. So I just do 1% promoted listing across the board, and that works for me. But like Jimmy says, he's been doing it for a while and he likes 4%. So if that works for you, then go for it. Whatever works best. So we got Art Vandalay in the chat. Gravity Goods is here. We got Emily Conway is here. Bearded Veteran here is here. We got the reseller niche. He says, what is your best toy sale? He wants to know, what is the best toy sale that you've had, I guess, for the year of 2020? Can you remember? Was there one that was like maybe in a grab bag that you got for 75 cents or $1 and sold it for $50? Or tell us a story about that.
I actually just had my best sale ever for a toy just recently. I'm gonna bring it so I can. So I went to a thrift store, a local thrift store that my favorite thrift store in my area. It's not too far from my house either. And they always have like new toys in the box there, like that were never opened. Yeah, it's really weird that you find that kind of stuff. And so I found behind on the shelf behind them is where they keep the nicer toys. And they had this Bionicle set, which, if you're not familiar with Bionicle, it's made by Lego. They're like robots that you build with Lego, out of Lego pieces, and they have battle axes and stuff like that. It's old. I think they call it a Hero Factory these days. So I saw on their shelf behind them they had a Bionicle. The box looked new, so I was like, "Hey, can I see that Bionicle right there?" They let me see it. I opened up everything. The box was open, but everything inside was sealed. All the bags were completely sealed. Had all the instructions. And so I was like, and they were asking $50 for it, and I was like, "Ooh, that's tough." But I looked it up and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and buy this." $50. So I bought that Bionicle set. It sold on Christmas Eve for $259.99 plus shipping.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I would have never have thought
the Bionicle set number is 8558.
Yeah, I would have never have thought to pick that up. I probably would have walked right by it because I just don't want to pay $20 for an item. That's just me. So, anyways, I'm going to try to catch up with the chat. We got Emily Conway is in the house. She says, if you could dive into another category, what would it be? We got Bearded Veteran here. We got Art Vandelay. We got my buddy Prison to Profit is here. He says, hey, everybody. Hey, thanks for coming by. We got Vintage Vagabond Vins is here. Well, Louis, Lone Star Picker is here hanging out with us today.
He won the gift card on my show last night.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, okay, awesome. So I didn't know Louis won. I came by and visited, but I didn't stay for the whole time. I was pulling orders and listing items and all that. So let's see. We got Lone Star Picker is here. Art Vandelay, Emily Conway. Gravity Good says he loves hearing me laugh. Sometimes Jimmy cracks me up sometimes. We got Isoa Victoria is here. Art Vandelay, Kentucky Fan 42, Prison to Profit, Emily Conway, Flippy McFlipperson. So, hey, do you want to catch up with that question that Emily Conway had? She wanted to know if you had to pick another category to sell in, what would it be?
And I've kind of dived into it a little bit, but I'm just learning it. So I'm going to cheat a little bit because I'm just starting to learn it, and I've had some success on it. It's vintage hats. I like selling vintage hats. I'll thank a couple people in YouTube resellers like Cernok and I've drawn a blank, but I've watched some people, and I learned about vintage hats from them, and so I started watching for them at estate sales. And I've had I've had some early success. So if I could go dive deep into vintage hats and learn more about them and sell them, I would, and I plan on it. It's going to be a slow process of learning, what exactly for, but I've definitely had some early on experience. Tim at over the years, I learned a lot from him about vintage hats as well. They sell really well, and it's fun to find that hat that's rare and is in great shape. So yeah, vintage hats for sure.
Yeah, I totally get you, man. Yeah, I've been selling a lot of DVDs and Blu-rays and video games. Lately, I've been trying out buying CDs because I can get, for example, we can order 1,000 CDs for $400. So your buy cost is 40 cents a unit. And if you can sell them for $10 a piece times 1,000, you now took your initial buy cost, which was $400, and bought $10,000 worth of merchandise. I was listing some of them the other day, and some of them were selling for 15, 20, 30 bucks. And like I said, your buy cost is 40 cents a piece. So it's like, if something happens, if it gets lost in the mail or damaged or broken or stolen, your cost of goods is really minimal. So let's see. I hope I didn't miss any questions here in the chat. I'm trying to get caught up in the chat here.
That's what I say. Gravity Goods, things. Yeah, I agree. That's awesome. He said that we have a lot in common as far as what we sell. So I just wanted to. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, Adebayo says, how do you clean your toy figures?
I try to only use soap and dish soap, a toothbrush, and water. Sometimes you have to get a little, get down and dirty, use some alcohol or a. There's some bigger toys you have to use, like a Mr. Clean, what's that, magic eraser and stuff like that. But, soap and water goes a long way. I get a toothbrush, some soap and some dish soap and water, and sometimes you just got to get in there and scrub it. And, you're not going to do a lot of damage to it, and it's going to it'll be nice and clean. Sometimes, you got to deal with smells that old toys can have. I've definitely bought toys that had, not on purpose, but accidentally bought toys that had like a cigarette smell to them. Dish soap and water and just scrubbing it has been a thing that I use a lot of.
All right, cool. We got Art Vandelay. He's here in the chat. Angie Resell says, thanks, Jeff. This blank is kicking my butt. I'm not allowed to say it. I'm sorry. And I tried to type in the chat, let's stump Jimmy, but apparently eBay is restricting my comments. So, guys, if you want to ask, it says on my screen, it says YouTube rejected your comment. It usually means they think it's spam. I'm spamming my own channel, believe that or not. Anyways, so yeah, that's what it says. So if you guys want to drop questions in the chat to Jimmy, we're going to try to stump Jimmy. Go ahead. We got Lone Star Picker here in the chat. Bearded Veteran says half of his sales on eBay come from promoted listings. Chewbacca says some people think eBay is gold and other people view it as Feebay. Well, I mean, eBay, like I said earlier, they're the middleman. They're going to make their money either way, no matter what, right? But the idea is to try to get items at low enough prices where there's still margin on your prices. Like, for example, today I showed you guys my What Sold video. I had $13.50 invested into the merchandise, and it sold for $284. So whatever fees they take out of that, that's still my initial buy cost was $13.50 turned into $284 in sales over the weekend. You're still looking at a 21x rate of return on investment on your money. So yeah, maybe they take out a 10% fee. Maybe they take out a $3 fee to processing fee. The idea is you got to get the smart merchandise at a low enough buy cost where even if they take out a fee, you're still going to make profit. I mean, there's some of these people that make a full-time living killing it. We were talking about Rally Roots the other day. They just posted on their Instagram this past year, well, they made $1 million this past year in 2020. So you got, there is going to be fees. But like I said, there's ways around it too. I mean, Rally Roots, like I said, it's just a husband and wife, and they made $1 million. That's gross.
Yeah.
So that's with everything they're doing. So there are people that's out there, and I met him in person, so I know that he's not. I went to his warehouse before and visited him. I mean, the guy works his tail off. So we got Angie Resells in the chat. We got Art Vandelay says, I've messed with my percentage since I started using promoting. Dan says he's doing 5%. Chewbacca says eBay fees are bad. Well, like I said, eBay is giving you a platform. They're bringing you buyers. So if it takes me 2 seconds to list an item, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. We got Emily Conway is here. We got Jack Resells. He says, hey guys, how are you doing? I'm from the UK. Hey, thanks for coming by. We appreciate you. And we got Emily Conway says she has to go. But hey, we'll see you later. Thank you for coming out and hanging out with us. We do appreciate you coming by. Lone Star Picker is here. Jack Resells. Art Vandelay, he says, Lone Star Picker says, Art Vandelay, is the 5% working for you? And we got a Backroad Bidder. Chuck is here. He just yelled, what? Jimmy!
What's going on, Chuck?
Chuck is here. Yeah. So he says, no, I'm not sharing my gift card. We love Jimmy. He cracks me up all the time. No, I didn't want you to share your gift card. I want you to keep it. I just didn't know that you got it. I was just surprised that you won. Because you never win anything, Louis. That's why I was surprised. I was like, wow, he won. I wasn't saying to cut me in on their money. I don't want your money, bro. Art Vandelay says, yes, I run my sales at 15-20%. Now I do 10 to 15% sales with 5% promoted listings.
Smart, Dan.
Yeah, I did a 10% sale right on Black Friday through Cyber Monday. We got Lone Star Picker here in the chat. Gravity Good says, dang, Jimmy, you're my brother from another mother. We have a lot in common. Interesting as well. Like to sell the same things. He says, I like your toys and video games and hats as well. So I'm going to put Jimmy back on full screen. So, he's here. So, guys, go ahead. If you have a question for Jimmy, go ahead and drop it in the chat. Sal says, Jimmy, keep up the hard work.
Will do.
Chuck says, I sold some perfume I bought this summer, and I've selling 8 tracks. That's crazy.
I did really good on some blank 8 tracks, brand new in the package that were never used to be recorded on. I did really good on some of those, like really good.
Okay. We have a question that says, Jimmy, you feel the move will affect his online sales and he'll restructure streamline his business idea? I'll be right back, and you can go ahead and answer his question. Go ahead.
So I believe Louis is talking about the fact that I'm going to be having to move this year. It's going to affect it. I just got to, depends on I haven't found the house that I'm going to be buying. So I don't know 100% how it's going to be. There's a possibility I'll be moving out of state. It's still up in the air. That's still to be determined. So I don't want to say for sure. But I might have to move to like my inventory be stored in a garage and my office be in the house, something like that. So it's definitely going to change. It's just a matter of how much, inventory. Inventory is going to be the big thing. Where am I going to keep my inventory? Am I going to have to get a storage locker? Am I going to have to keep it in my garage? Stuff like that. So I'm definitely not going to let it slow me down, though. You know me, Louis. I'm going to keep. I'm pedal to the metal when it comes to sales. That's kind of how I've always been with my attitude on sales. I try to have sales outweigh everything. Like I pedal to the metal, stuff flying out the door, so that way when I get a return request, when I get an upset customer or whatever, I just like I literally when I get a return request or a customer that's upset and is talking about they want their money back or whatever, I come down here and list. I'm like, I'm gonna sell through whatever this problem is. I'm just gonna keep pushing stuff out the door and sell through it. That's always been my attitude. I'm real positive when it comes to eBay. I like eBay a lot. I don't have a lot of issues with eBay. I like they promote they're my promoters. They do advertising for me. I don't have to do it myself. I don't have to pay another company to do it. That's where my fees go as far as I'm concerned. So, you know what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm gonna do, Louis. You know it. I'm just gonna sell through it, buddy.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Your fees is almost like your marketing or advertising budget. I mean, you're going to have to pay for it either way. So we got a question from Dan was in the chat. I just saw a question. He wants to know, do you sell on any other platform besides eBay?
Right now it's only eBay. I tried Amazon. I do some local marketplace stuff, not a lot. I might have 3 things listed right there right now. I've tried Mercari. So I've tried Amazon and Mercari. I've had success on both, but right now eBay's, it is a little scary, all the eggs in one basket, whatever. But I am very familiar with eBay. I have a lot of experience on eBay. I have a pretty good idea what I'm doing, and I'm having a lot of success there now. So for now, it's mainly eBay. 99% of my stuff is eBay.
All right. Art Vandelay says that he didn't even run a sale this weekend, just 5% promoted listing and had 18 sales. That's awesome, Art Vandelay. And I saw a question from Chuck. He says, how many square feet is your basement, Jimmy? He wants to know how big your basement is.
I don't know for sure. Maybe 900. I don't know. It's a big basement. It's huge. 8 or 900, I think. I don't know. It's basically, the same size as the main level of my house, or the house that I rent. So yeah, it's huge.
Okay, cool. Yeah, what were you saying a second ago? Are you planning on moving soon?
Yeah, we're gonna be moving. And at the 1st of May, I'll be moving out of this house.
Okay, cool. Gravity Good says, if you had 200K followers on Instagram or YouTube, then you could sell from your own site. But right now we got to pay for our traffic on eBay. Yeah. That's where the fees do. But yeah, like I said, it's just part of your marketing or advertising budget. Yep. You would do that most any other brick and mortar business. They have expenses. You got to think, man, since you don't have a brick and mortar business, think about all the other like if you don't have a warehouse, I have no employees. I don't have to pay for water. I don't have to pay electric. I don't have to pay for a big overhead with a lot of expenses. Like I have a shed in my backyard that I store my merchandise. My cost of goods is like 50 cents or $1. You have no employees. You have no overhead. So the only fees you have to pay for is your cost of goods. And then you have to pay for storage, your merchandise, and then eBay fees. Your overhead is pretty low,
Yep. And so another thing to consider about if you have a brick and mortar, if you decide to run a sale at a brick and mortar, you don't just decide I'm having a sale. Don't tell anybody. If you have a brick and mortar and you run a sale, you're making signs. You're paying to have signs made. You're paying to advertise on social media. You might pay to have it on the radio. You might pay to have it on the, a commercial on TV if you're a big, for these big retailers. The point is, no matter how you run your sales business selling items, you have to promote it somehow, and there's going to be money spent there. So to say, I don't want to pay eBay's fees for promotions, well, it goes hand in hand with sales. That's my opinion on it. That's how I see it. So you can't have a brick and mortar run a sale and then just keep it to yourself that you're having a sale. You know what I mean? And if you don't run sales, your sales won't be as good as if you were running a sale. So all those things combined, money is going to be spent on promoting and sales.
Well, my thing is, I sell a lot of media items. So let's say there's 200 people selling the same exact item as me. I don't want to be on the back page of the search engine. If someone is looking for this particular item that I have, I at least want my items to show up on the front page. Like you want eyeballs to show up on your items, right? So that's all you're doing is just getting more views to your items, and hopefully it equals to more sales. So I wanted to say hi to Vintage Vagabond Vince is in the house. We got Joseph here hanging out with us. Lone Star Picker Chuck is here. Art Vandelay is here. Gravity Goods is hanging out with us, and Angie Reseller and Mo from the reseller niche. So, yeah, if you guys have questions for Jimmy, drop it in the chat. Jimmy, I want you to. I don't know. Can you talk a little bit about your personal life a little bit? I want to know about what's going on. Where did you meet your wife, and how many kids do you have? Like, talk a little bit about how you balance reselling, shooting YouTube videos, and you said you still are a dad, right? You still are a husband. You still have to take care of your family. Tell everybody tell backstory about that. Go ahead and tell us, Jimmy.
Yeah, so I've been married to my wife for 20 years now. 20. It'll be 21 in 5 months. So yeah, been married for a long time. I have a 16-year-old son and a 20 son that just turned 20 in December. My 20-year-old is currently living with me right now. He's helping out around here, and my 16-year-old is in high school. So having older kids makes it a little bit easier to manage what I'm doing as far as eBay and YouTube. My wife has a full-time job, but she definitely helps me. She comes down here every night and helps me pack and ship stuff. She also will help me organize my inventory. So she definitely, I get a lot of help there. And it becomes pretty easy when the money's there, and we see that eBay is helping pay our bills. eBay right now is paying our bills more than anything else. So it just, I have that work ethic. So part of being a mechanic, that's what was a reward, is I was a mechanic and I learned a great work ethic as a mechanic. So it translates to eBay. So managing it isn't that hard. Do I spend a lot of time in the basement? Yeah, I'm usually down here 6, 7, 8 hours a day. And then I'm down here at the end of the night messing with, videos, editing and stuff like that. But it's fun too. Like the video editing and video making is fun, so it's not really like work. And there's a lot of parts of eBay that aren't like tomorrow, me and my friend, we're gonna go hit all the thrift stores in the area. Like we're gonna get up in the morning, we're gonna hit like 7 thrift stores together, just having fun, record some video, and so it's not that hard to juggle. The hardest part of my life was when I went through the change and had to change. When I had to retire as a mechanic. Because mechanics make good money. I was making good money, right? So that's why I'm kind of in the boat I'm in. That's why I'm renting right now. I owned a house. Now I'm renting. That's a long story. But, eBay has allowed me to get back to where I'm considering buying a house again. Like I'm going to be able to, not considering, I am going to buy a house again, mainly because of the money that I've been able to make on eBay. So it's not that hard. You just have to you can't be lazy when it comes to eBay. You don't have to be a hard worker. You just can't be lazy. You can't ignore eBay. You can't put it off. We were talking about brick and mortars. Imagine if you treated a brick and mortar the way you do eBay. If you're I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean, but if you were a lazy eBay seller and only spent an hour to 2 hours a day on it, I shouldn't even say that's lazy, but let's just say you're a part-time, kind of I don't know how to word it, but you guys get where I'm going. If you had a brick and mortar store and you put only an hour to 2 hours into that store every day, that doors would be closed, they would be locked, your inventory would be empty. You just wouldn't make it if you only put an hour to 2 hours into brick and mortar. So to be a full-time eBay reseller, you got to put those hours into it. You can't just put an hour to an hour and a half a day. So I guess that's the best way to do it. If you want to be full-time and you're only going to try to put an hour to 2 hours into it, you're going to struggle. You got to put the hours into it. You got to put time into it.
All right.
And that's one of my attitudes. I treat it like a brick and mortar. I'm down here at my brick and mortar store right now working for the last 6 hours today.
Right. So Jimmy, I wanted to say hi to Art Vandelay. We got Lone Star Picker. He says, buy that house. So, Jimmy's moving up. He just hit 1,000 subscribers. He's buying a house. He's been, a full-time reseller. We got Gravity Goods in the house. Joseph says, you seem like a really cool guy, Jimmy. I bet your entire family is pretty cool.
That's my brother, by the way. That's my brother.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you guys get a chance, I got Jimmy's Instagram and YouTube is linked in the description if you want to go by and check him out. We got Lone Star Picker. He was talking about January house. We got Gravity Goods. A series says, he says, we need to do that. Hit me up like 6 Goodwills in one day. We got Vintage Vagabond says, sounds like a blast. Thrifty Queen Space is here. Two Dudes Pickin' says, don't forget that anniversary, Jimmy.
Right.
And yeah,
Is it May?
Yeah.
Something or other.
Yeah, it's coming up, right? So Gravity Goods, he wants to know, Jimmy, do you also collect toys? And what are some of your favorite toys from the 90s?
I'm currently just not really collecting. I have this little lot right here of vintage toys I've found at sales. They're all in really bad condition, but not yet. I'm going to. Like I've always said, right now my toy collection this is my collection behind me, and most of it's for sale. So it's my collection till it sells type attitude. But I plan on it. I loved Transformers, G.I. Joe. I mean all the big names, but Voltron. I plan on collecting all that stuff from when I was a kid. Silverhawks. This is kind of an ongoing joke I did when I had a live. Like if you haven't heard, there was a cartoon called Silverhawks back in the 80s.
Yeah,
I loved Silverhawks. I plan on collecting all the Silverhawks action figures. He-Man, all the big names. So yeah, I plan on it for sure. And I'll collect some modern stuff. Like right here above, I played the video game Overwatch. So these are Overwatch characters right here.
Yeah,
I have a little collection going. I like Mewtwo right there. So I have a couple Mewtwo figures from Pokemon. So I have a small collection, I guess, but nothing crazy yet.
All right, Jimmy. We got a question from Chuck. He says, "Do you still fix your own cars?"
I don't. So I don't care to say this. So I had hernia issues. Like I had 3 hernias in 1 year, and my core is completely compromised. So like literally to put tension on something and try to turn a wrench or whatever is basically impossible for me now. So don't do now. I needed brakes done on my truck, and my son did it, and I showed him how to do it. So I literally stood there over his shoulder watching him, explaining him how to do everything, and he got it done, and he did a really good job. But there's a couple times where there's a hard bolt to break, and I couldn't help him. I had to be like, dude, you have to get a breaker bar. We got to get this done. Like, I can't push on it at all. My stomach is just going to go bloop, bloop. So, no, long story short, no, I don't. I wish I could, but I can't.
All right. We got OC Victoria. She says, yes, I had a brick and mortar, and eBay is much less expensive, not counting my time and scheduling when I want to. So, yeah, that's for sure. We got Two Dudes Pickin' hanging out with us, Lone Star Picker, Gravity Goods, Joseph is here, Art Vandelay. We got 3Gen Hustle is here. Sorry if I missed you earlier. Thank you for coming by and hanging out with us today. We appreciate you. And, yeah, Joseph says, don't forget that anniversary. We like Sonya better than you. So, wow. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So, yeah, we got Harry in the house. Two Dudes Pickin' says, I don't have 6 thrift stores to visit in one day. I'll have to go to Atlanta for that. Well, hey, man, it's all good. As long as you're out there getting merchandise and you're listening, you're making sales, it's all good. So, we're running out of time, Jimmy. I'm going to hit you with the lightning round. Are you ready for this?
Oh, I don't know. Let me. Okay.
he says, I don't know. All right, Jimmy. Here we go. Now, give me your top 3 tips that would help somebody if maybe they're a part-time reseller and they want to become full-time, because you had a transition from working a full-time job, right?
Yep.
From working as a mechanic to now being a full-time reseller. So, give me your top 3 tips that would help somebody out to be in a full-time reseller or to make a full-time income on eBay.
Build some capital. Don't just go into it without any money built up. Make sure you have a nice little capital built up so you can go into it full-time. Get shipping set up. I know it's everybody, but everybody here knows if you don't have shipping set up and you try to go full-time, you're going to regret it. Get a label printer, have boxes ready, have a scale, be ready for that. And then the last thing I would say is customer service. You got to be good at customer service to succeed. And I know a lot of sellers that don't like it, and a lot of sellers that take stuff personal. I don't ever take it personal. I'm just good at it. I research customer service techniques, and learn it and know how to treat your customers right. And those are my 3 biggest things.
Okay, cool. Now, Jimmy, we just now rolled over. We're in the year 2021 now. What are some of your goals and plans that you have for this year for 2021? Because we're in January now. I mean, you said you're going to buy a house. You're going to be moving. Tell me some of the other ideas or some other plans that you have for both your YouTube channel and reselling for 2021.
Well, a big goal would be for my wife to do this full time with me. It's in the talks. Moving is part of it, and moving might help us get to that point. So, getting my wife as a full time reseller this year would be nice. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that's definitely it's definitely a goal I'm going to attempt. Doubling what I'm doing. I want to double, so that's part of it. I want to double what I'm doing on eBay. I don't want to just settle for where I'm at. I want to double it. I want to continue to buy inventory and sell stuff out the door. And as far as YouTube, it's kind of all happened really fast, getting over 1,000, with the awesome push that all these people helped me with. But I want to continue to put out videos consistently. And I guess one of the big things is I'm going to go back to lives. I'm going to start a Friday night show, going back to lives just once a week. I, put a lot of thought into it. So look for it to happen towards the end of this month. I'm going to be doing a live show Friday nights, 9:30 Eastern on my channel. And it's going to be
awesome.
once a week.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say the same thing. I was going to say, Jimmy, you should go live like once a week because you had such a big turnout last night. I was surprised.
Yeah, I was too. It was awesome.
Yeah, we just thought maybe it'll be nice. So, Jimmy, man, thank you for coming and hanging out with me today. Tell everybody where they can find you at on YouTube and Instagram. Tell them where they can find you at.
Yeah, so it's, they're both the same. Old School Flips is my YouTube channel, and my Instagram is also Old School Flips at Old School Flips. So you can find me. I used to have Uncle B at the front of my name, but I just felt like to simplify finding me, I took that off. So it's just Old School Flips, as you see on the screen, right there.
Got it.
My YouTube channel and my Instagram.
Got it. I got it linked in the description, guys. Go come by and show Jimmy some love. He just now hit 1,000 subscribers and he's climbing. And, like you said, this year, 2021, we're going to double that 1,000 subscribers and we're going to double the eBay income. So let's make it happen, Jimmy. Okay. I think you're going to be able to do it, bro. So, hey, thanks for coming and hanging out with me today, man. We appreciate you and good luck. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool. Hey, thanks guys. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Y'all have a great day. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.